up on today's show, we are talking about the possibility of Tee Higgins being dealt. Where could he potentially be traded? We'll tell you more in a bit. Also, Hunter Renfrow, could he be traded? We had some interesting comments over the weekend from Josh McDaniels. We'll show you what he had to say in just a little while from right now. Plus, Aaron Rodgers, retirement talk after that Achilles injury. Is his career over? We'll examine that and more on this edition of NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. Let's start with Tee Higgins. Bleacher Report has named the top 6 destinations for Tee Higgins leading up to the trade deadline. Is Higgins getting dealt? It might be more likely than you would think. Here's what you need to know about this situation. Recent reports came out that Higgins declined a contract extension offer from the Bengals. And the reason why, the offer did not meet what Higgins expects to be able to obtain on the open market. He believes that if he were a free agent, he would get significantly more money than what the Bengals were willing to pay him. Now, the Bengals could apply the franchise tag next season. As you guys know the rules, you can be tagged twice, so they could just hold on to him that way. They also could play out this year, tag him, and then trade him on the franchise tag as well. And the franchise tag price, not going to be cheap if the Bengals decide to keep him around on said tag. It's close to $20 million, $19.74 to be exact. Bleacher Report's top 6 destinations for him include the Arizona Cardinals, the Carolina Panthers, Detroit Lions, New England Patriots, New York Giants, and the Houston Texans. For me, there's one team among this list to watch out for specifically, and it is the Detroit Lions. And here's why. This is a Detroit Lions team. You saw what they did to the Kansas City Chiefs last week. They are here to stay. They are a legit football team. And when we talk about contending teams, the Lions have the most cash to be able to spend. If they want to make a trade for Tee Higgins right now, they very well could. They could give up the assets, have the cap space for it, and go ahead and extend him. Now, the more likely scenario that I think we're looking at is that Tee Higgins doesn't get dealt before the deadline. The Bengals go all in on this year, go get that draft capital in the offseason, franchise tag and trade there. So maybe it's this offseason, but watch out for Detroit as they are looking for more receiver help. Tee Higgins could be their guy, and then the Bengals get him out of the AFC potentially with said trade. Where will Tee Higgins play next season? That's our pinned comment today. We want to know directly from you guys. What do you think? Tell me the team. Is it Cincinnati? Is it Detroit? Is it somebody else? Chime in. Tell me where you think Tee Higgins is going to go. Sticking with trade rumors, we turn our attention now to Hunter Renfrow. Are the Raiders trying to trade Hunter Renfrow after he had not a single target last week against the Denver Broncos? Are they ready to move on? Was that a sign of sorts that he's not a part of their future by keeping him out of the offensive game plan last week? Well, Josh McDaniels had this to say about Hunter Renfrow and what happened. One of those where the game played out in a certain way and the coverage dictated that the ball went somewhere else. So what's that is? Pretty vague there from Josh McDaniels on that front. More on this in just a moment, but first, let's tell you. Today's episode of NFL Daily is sponsored by our newest partner here at Chat Sports, Odds Are. Now, let me make one thing real clear from the beginning. Odds Are is not a sports betting app, but its AI technology recommends the best bets you can make, so you can be a smart bettor. The interface is incredibly slick, and it's designed to be user-friendly. If you've ever been curious about sports betting or are looking for a more intuitive platform, Odds Are is your sports betting advisor in your pocket. NFL Daily viewers are going to get 30 days for free. You can experience the magic for yourself. Dive in and bet smart. Go to oddsr.com/NFL Daily. Now, let me show you the bets that I'm looking at. You want to look for the green value. That is one that says, I can't miss out on this opportunity. And you have one in particular with Seattle and Detroit. The over-under. A lot of people were expecting a lot of points in this game, but with Seattle's injuries on their offensive line, maybe not as high scoring as what some would expect. Look out for the under there. Minus 110. Got some value on that one. Meanwhile, Indianapolis and Houston. This game, two new quarterbacks to their teams, right? Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson in his second start. C.J. Stroud with Houston in his second start. Two kind of evenly matched teams within the same division. In this game here, I'm looking at Indianapolis to potentially pull off the upset here. Good value on them is just a 1-point underdog, and you can also bet on the under. Some value with that one as well. Meanwhile, New Orleans and Carolina, another good divisional matchup between these two teams. And I got to tell you, I'm looking at the over-under in this at 39.5. I don't think these two offenses are that great. Look for the under. Take the value on that. Don't miss out on the opportunity to get these bets, courtesy of our new partner here at Odds Are. Not a sports betting app, but they are going to provide you those smart bets. That way you can win big this weekend. Sign up today. Get your 30-day free trial now at oddsr.com/NFL Daily. Now, back to Hunter Renfrow. When it comes to Renfrow, I think that the Raiders do want to move on from him. It feels like it's only a matter of time. But who wants Hunter Renfrow? I mean, in all honesty, who would want Hunter Renfrow at this point in time? Why would you even consider making a trade for him when he's coming off such a down year last year? 330 yards, 2 touchdowns was it in 10 games played, not to mention getting hurt. The year prior, he was solid, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. But the truth of the matter is this, okay? For me, here's what I look at when it comes to why I would be against trading for Hunter Renfrow if it was my team. You got guys like, let's just take example, the guy we just talked about a few moments ago, Tee Higgins. Why on earth would I trade for Hunter Renfrow when I could potentially have Tee Higgins or a number of other guys out there? Mike Evans' name has come up. I mean, Hunter Renfrow is way down the pecking order. So for me, I think the Raiders are probably going to be in a situation where if they trade him, they're going to get pennies on the dollar because there's other guys that get traded first that have more value the teams actually want as opposed to Hunter Renfrow. Will the Raiders trade Hunter Renfrow? What do you think? Y for yes, N for no. Chime in the comment section. What do you think is going to happen there with Hunter Renfrow in Las Vegas? Final note before we go, Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to retire on Monday? Aaron Rodgers suffered a season-ending Achilles injury on just the 4th snap from scrimmage. And as he nears his 40s now, is this it for Aaron Rodgers at this point? Will he ever play again? His head coach, Robert Saleh, weighed in and said, I'd be shocked if he goes out this way. And I got to say, I agree with Robert Saleh here. I don't know if it's with the New York Jets. I know they've invested a lot in Aaron Rodgers. It's hard to imagine the Jets just giving up right away, and especially since they're sticking with Zach Wilson. I think that they'll go through this season. They'll realize how much they really need Aaron Rodgers, why they brought him there. But you think about this. They brought Aaron Rodgers in to New York, not just for a one-year deal. The expectation was he would play a 2, 3+ seasons potentially with that New York Jets team. So with that said, I don't know if he'll be the same quarterback he was a couple years ago in 2021, but I expect Aaron to play through this, to eventually get back in that football field and more than likely end up back with the New York Jets next season potentially. So we'll see how it plays out. What is the chance? I want to play the percentages before we go here, that Aaron Rodgers will retire and not come back to the Jets or play for another football team? Scale it for me, 1 through 100, how likely you think it is that we have seen the last of Aaron Rodgers in the National Football League. Folks, thanks for joining us here on this edition of NFL Daily. Make sure to subscribe for the latest happenings across the National Football League. We got you covered. We'll see you next time here on the channel.